I was a part of the mission team that traveled this past January to Haiti to work with Meg and Wilbert Merciless and their ministry called Living Hope Mission, which is in Cap-Haïtien, one of the two major cities in Haiti, the other being the capital, Port-au-Prince, where the earthquake hit about a year and a half ago. Cap-Haïtien looks like it was hit by an earthquake, but it wasn't really affected directly. Rather, the devastation in Cap-Haïtien is from a long history of corrupt dictators and inept government. Meg and Wilbert locate resources and funds to help the local churches take care of their community in ways the government either can't or won't. Clean water, microloans, scholarships, and building and agricultural projects are the primary initiatives that Living Hope facilitates, using churches like us who have resources and money to push them through. While Meg is from Pennsylvania, Wilbert is a native Haitian whose story is pretty inspiring. He was a typical kid growing up in a Haitian village when a woman visiting his village felt led to pay for his education, which otherwise probably would have ended at a young age. Her recognition of promise in Wilbert paid off, as he has turned her investment in his education into a major force for God's kingdom in Haiti. Wilbert's charisma and optimism immediately invite you to believe in everything he is doing and to want to be a part of it as well. We went all over Cap-Haïtien and the surrounding towns in northern Haiti, and it was very rare for us to find someone who didn't know him or want to shake his hand. Wilbert is a living model to the people of Haiti and to me of what it means to really use one's standing and influence in the community for the service of the kingdom of God. I am so glad Don Shelley met Wilbert on one of his medical mission trips a few years back and had the vision to turn it into a way for us to do some good in Haiti through a partnership with Living Hope. Now, I assume the Cuba team had to jump through hoops and navigate red tape just to secure legal arrival in Cuba. Well, the Haiti team had the exact opposite experience. I don't even think the Haitian government ever knew we were there. We touched down in Cap-Haïtien and filled out a quick customs form, but we were able to skip the actual normally important customs inspection because, and I quote, the guy hadn't shown up for work yet. So we grabbed our bags and entered Haiti, the land of mosquitoes, 24-hour rooster crowing, small-town mayors who hitch rides, missionaries who get kidnapped, contaminated water, drivers named Doo-Doo, tarantulas, and guys in clown masks and army fatigues with rifles slung over their arms asking for money. Feel free to ask us about any of those stories later. Meg and Wilbert motioned us over to the front door of the airport and made sure we had a good grip on our bags as we exited and walked down a short fenced-in sidewalk toward a mob of perhaps 20 men just itching to carry our 12 pieces of luggage 4 whole feet to our vehicle, which was an open-air Daihatsu truck waiting to pick us up and carry us to the Living Hope Mission compound, our home for the next 7 days. But before we move on, I do want to go back and confirm, yes, our driver's name was Doo-Doo. We got used to it, but at the beginning of the week, his name was still something of a novelty to us, and wanting to make a quick connection with Wilbert and perhaps find some common ground, I pulled him aside and said, "Hey, I just met your driver, Doo-Doo. I'll work with a guy named Booty." I'll never forget his reaction. "His name is Booty? Like Booty?" That from a guy whose driver is named Doo-Doo. As we left the airport, Doo-Doo took a right out of the loading and unloading area down a road that was eerily close to the actual airstrip. And then after glancing briefly to his left to get a sight of the car that he was about to pull out in front of, he took another right directly into an all-out car, truck, bike, and moped racing video game. Think Mario Kart with 2 directions and no finish line, and you'll have an idea of what driving is like in Haiti. The long 2-lane roads between towns were peaceful and relaxing, but the roads in more populated areas like near the airport and near the compound where we were staying, it was every man, woman, and moped for themselves. Police presence was scarce, and the few traffic signs I observed carried the weight of suggestion or recommendation at best. I saw one stoplight the entire week, and I took a photo of it. The lack of traffic regulations is a microcosm and perfect example of the government's unwillingness or inability to support its citizens in a way that would improve their chances for improved safety, better health, and fuller life. So the local churches with whom Meg and Wilbert partner do their best to fill this gap, thus playing a role in the lives of its community that perhaps we're not familiar with. Working through their connections with the local churches and schools, Living Hope Mission brokered and arranged for us to provide a free medical clinic for a couple of towns and villages. The clinic, led by two of our doctors, Lewis Mathis and Tracy Butcher, brought in hundreds of children whose parents were all too eager for them to have a brief but thorough medical exam, not knowing when their child's next chance for a checkup might come. In addition to providing some much-needed medical attention and supplies, Meg and Wilbert also arranged for us to purchase and build some desks for the elementary school in a remote village called Philibert. And when I say some desks for the school, I mean they didn't have desks until we built them and took them out there. And when I say remote, I mean remote. The only cell phone signal I got all week, ironically, was when we were in that far-off village, but the signal was coming from another country. I even received a text message from that neighboring nation's government that said, "Welcome to the Dominican Republic." To build the desks, Wofford, Don, Mike, Lewis, Susan, Tracy, Ann, Ricky, and I all labored for 3 days under the direction of our foreman, Boswani, and their interpreter, Clinell, managing to produce 20 desks that could each seat about 5 children, so seating for about 100 students. When we arrived at the village's school with the desk, the children and teachers and pastor were all there to greet us as we pulled in. What a great scene. Huge smiles, instant connection, especially between the children and Ann Martin. I'm not sure, we weren't sure if they were going to let us take her back. Technology and mirrors being so rare in these villages, we spent most of our time taking pictures of them with our phones and then showing them what they looked like. We also realized the students up to that point had been using pews from the village church as school desks. So when they needed to write or do something that needed bearing down, they would have to turn around, get on their knees, and bear down on the pew itself. In addition to the school desks and the medical clinic, we also spent some time planning our next project, which will focus on installing solar panels on the roof of Living Hope's housing and office building to allow them to generate their own power and avoid the shocking cost of government-supplied electricity. Ralph Boughton, Ricky Power, and I are trying to identify a system that will work, and our hope is to install the panels next year when we return. Ricky and I have already measured the area where the panels go. We walked off the yardage of that roof so many times that if I ever need to hit a golf ball from one end to the other, I'll know exactly what club to use. Sand wedge. When the solar panels are installed, the money saved from not having to pay the Haitian government that outrageous annual power bill will be freed up to support the projects and needs of Living Hope's partner churches and ministries. Wilbert's story is a lens through which I see a role we can play in Haiti. Just like the woman who spotted hope and promise already present in Wilbert, we want to uncover and identify hope that is already down there in Haiti, to look for it, help breathe life into it, and then leave it in the hands of the local teachers, pastors, and missionaries, the permanent guardians of hope in Haiti. I am so glad to have been a part of the effort to look for hope in Haiti, and I am so glad we are returning next year. When we go back, I'll be ready for the tarantulas and the rifle-bearing killer clowns in camouflage, and I'll also know that there isn't any place on earth where the hope of God's kingdom can't be found in some form, not even Haiti. There are thousands of American churches and ministries looking for hope in Haiti and trying to turn it into living and life-giving hope for them. We are one of those churches, and your support of our relationship with Meg and Wilbert and Living Hope Mission has made this possible. Thank you.